There we are.
Hi everyone, welcome to this special Reclaimed Radio podcast, Prog Rocks, with me, David Hall, and my special guest, Mr. Dominic Sanderson. Dom has
Hello.
produced, hiya. Do- Dom has produced music from 2020, including the celebrated album Impermanence, released, I think it's about 2 years ago almost to the day,
I
or
think so, yeah. Yeah, I
about
think you're
two
right.
years ago, which led to Dominic being recognised in Progbag's 2024 award. I think it was Best Newcomer, wasn't it, Dom? Best Newcomer, Emerging.
Yeah, I think it was yeah, number 8, I think, in the best
Don't
new
say number
artist.
eight. We'll pretend it's not number. Okay.
Sorry, that was yeah.
I can't even remember who number one was. You've got a new album called Blazing Revelations. It was recorded last year,
Yeah.
over 10 months, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And it is released this time next week, I hope, on the 28th of
It
February.
is 28th, yeah.
28th of Feb. So almost 2 years to the day since Impermanence came out.
Yeah.
Thanks very much for attending, for giving us your
Cool.
valuable time. Now I followed you probably from about 2020 when I think
Yeah.
Empty Circles came out.
Yes,
Um,
yeah.
and then the Discarded Memories came out. I've got it as September 2020. So I followed
Right.
you for quite some time, and you've got a different
Yeah.
haircut than you had on your website, sort of
Yes,
a punk rock
yeah.
haircut then.
It was a little bit. It was very spiky. Well, yeah, like a bit like Flock of Seagulls, the singer from them. It's like out there, but then all shaved at the side.
Very,
I
very
don't know what I was
spiky.
thinking.
Very
Yeah,
punk
yeah,
rock, wasn't it?
yeah, 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 yeah.
So, I mean, you were born in 1999. I was just looking up which
Yeah.
albums came out in that year. I actually bought Flower Power from the Flower Kings then.
All right, yeah.
I think Dream Theater's Scenes from a Memory came out in your birth year. And
Gosh.
as you like Stephen Wilson, Stupid Dream came out with Porcupine Tree. So
Wow. Yeah.
it doesn't seem long ago to me. But I was just wondering
Nah.
who your influences are, as you make music. Who are your prime influences?
It's a difficult one 'cause it's always changing, and I'm always discovering new artists. Artists that not necessarily are new nowadays, but artists from back in the day, back in the 70s, who I've only just picked up on now. And when I listen to those artists, it directly inspires whatever I'm coming up with at the time. Um, so it's difficult to say as of now. I mean, there's the staples. So there's Stephen Wilson, there's King Crimson, Gentle Giant, all of those. Anything that's more on the sort of dissonant side of things, or like avant-garde or whatever else you want to call it, experimental. But I do love all of the sort of meat and potatoes prog acts, Genesis and Yes and all those. But I think direct influences, yeah, Stephen Wilson, King Crimson, Gentle Giant. More recently, Caravan. I've been listening to them a lot. Um, Magma. I do like Magma. I know you're not so keen on Magma.
You won't forget
yeah,
back, man.
yeah. It's challenging stuff, both to play and to listen to, but it's mind blowing. Just trying to think who else. A lot of sort of folky acts, like Comus, Trees, Forest, um,
John
a
Martin.
German John Martin. I love John Martin. Yeah. I recently saw like a John Martin tribute band. I think they're called the John Martin Project, and they were fantastic. Yeah, I'm a big fan of John Martin. And then there's this German band from back in the 70s called like Hölderlin or Holderlin, or I don't
Oh,
know how
hold
you
the
say
line.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and yeah, excuse my pronunciation there, but yeah, their first album I listen to like daily. It's brilliant. And like a lot of those sort of folkier acts directly influenced some bits of Blazing Revelations, especially A Right of Wrongs, which is like the folky track on the album. And I think it's probably gonna be a bigger influence going forward for the next release or releases. going down the sort of more acousticy, folky route, but not like little short songs, but like sort of integrating those avant-garde, experimental, dissonant sort of sensibilities into like a folky context,
Yeah.
similar to those bands. So yeah, trying to think of any other bands that I've been listening to recently or just picked up on recently. I've been trying to get into more of the Canterbury scene stuff. Um, there's an album called Mainstream by Quiet Sun, I think.
Quiet Sun, yeah.
Yeah, listening to that a lot. Um, I think well, Gilgamesh.
Mm.
Uh, yeah,
So it's a more
yeah,
more experimental
yeah,
bands,
yeah,
really.
definitely.
But yeah,
Yeah, but as I say, I'm still on the hunt for new music from that era, particularly. There's not a lot of modern stuff that I really pick up on nowadays. I think Stephen Wilson is probably the biggest one. Uh, I used to Dream Theater was actually that was my gateway into prog rock. Um,
yeah,
uh, but nowadays I don't listen to any Dream Theater at all, really. I've obviously listened to Scenes from a Memory and Images and Words and all those early albums, but the later stuff and I've not really uh, paid much attention to for a long time. Um, yeah, it's for me at the moment I'm uh, fixated on 70s. Actually, no, that's a lie. I like Wobbler.
oh,
Um,
excellent, yeah,
yeah, I love
yeah.
Wobbler. I mean,
With
they are modern
Lars
day.
Frederick Froisley.
Oh yeah, yeah, and his solo album as well. I mean that is modern day, but it's retro prog.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
But
which I'd say my music is probably grounded there as well, sort of more directly influenced by that era rather than trying to make like a weird prog hybrid.
yeah, yeah,
So Wobbler are great, and Anglergard, they're
mm,
excellent. Yeah, I love some of the Scandinavian stuff is really cool. But I'd say Wobbler are closer to like a Yes sound,
yeah.
and at times a more Genesis sort of sound. Whereas I think my music veers more towards Crimson uh,
Van der
and
Graaf,
acts
probably.
similar.
Van der
Oh,
Graaf,
Van der Graaf.
maybe.
I can't believe I didn't mention Van der Graaf.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'd say they're my favourite band at the moment. I can't believe that just slipped my mind. Van der Graaf
I
and Peter Hamill. Yeah,
I think the new album, I've listened to it 3 times now.
right.
It's
Yeah,
wonderful, by the way, but
thank you.
I see your vocal is very Peter Hamill.
Yeah, yeah. And
It is.
I mean, it's I definitely was inspired by Peter Hamill's vocal style for this album. Um, I've definitely tried to obviously sing in my own voice rather than trying to sort of copy that because I'd never want to copy anything uh, and sort of imitate.
Mm,
But I know that I think more just sort of taking Hamill's vocal style and thinking, well, what's he doing there? And it's sort of it's almost like if you went to go and see a musical. He's got quite an operatic voice at times,
mm,
or like a musical drama theatre sort of voice. So it's sort of trying to just think, well, I'm going to try singing in more of
mm,
a dramatic style,
mm.
uh, and sort of just let go a little bit rather than singing. So I think a lot of the vocals on Impermanence were quite sweet and quite um, well, just like my bog standard voice, really,
Mm.
which does come across quite sort of with those nice sort of harmonic those harmonies. What's the word? Lush. I think lush.
Yeah,
Yeah, the sort of
yeah,
lush harmonies. And
yeah.
there aren't as many like. There's not as much of that on Blazing Revelations. I'm
No.
mainly sort of focusing on just the lead vocal and making
Mm,
that as effective as possible. Saying that there are moments of nice harmonies and stuff, uh, and I have tried to think more about lyrics and, and having more vocals
Yeah.
on the album. Because I know there weren't that many actually on Impermanence, but
Mm.
Blazing Revelations is the first time that I've actually written lyrics. So I always thought, oh, I'd never be good at that. I'm never going to do it. I sometimes that's one of my flaws is that if I think I can't do something, I just won't bother. And I'm very impatient. So if I don't get something straight away, I'll
Yeah.
usually just leave it. But I thought I'm going to give this a go. I'm going to sit down, and I actually it was easier than I thought. The words just came pouring out, but I did sort of sit there and scrutinize for ages and cross things out, rewrite things,
Mm. Can I ask you
until
about
I was vaguely happy. No one,
Can I ask you about the live
yeah, go
dates?
on,
I mean, you did Future Yards last year in Winter's End,
yeah,
and you're doing
yeah,
Fusion in a 3 or 4 weeks,
we are,
maybe. Um,
yeah,
how do you find you get more confidence the more you play, or is it just practice, or is it live you get more confidence? And the other thing I was going to ask is,
yeah.
um, what do the band members do when they're not band members? What
Okay.
are you 100%, like a 12-month working band, or do they have other agendas when you're not recording or
It's a very good question actually, because there were sort of two questions there. The one about playing live, I think we've done 3 gigs.
yeah.
With Fusion will be our fourth, and hopefully after Fusion I'd like to get some more. But when it comes to performing, for me, it never gets easier. I get quite bad stage fright, and I don't particularly um, like performing as much as other aspects of music. I like recording, I love composing, and I like listening to music
Mm.
and buying music. I like all of that. But performing, I do find challenging, especially being a front man. I'm not really a natural front man, so I am trying to get better at that, and I think I am. I'm feeling more confident about being in a front man situation. But in terms of like, if I'm getting more confident, um, performing with my band, because I play in lots of other bands as well. I'd say it's the same with every band. I get myself in a state before I play,
Mm.
a state of nerves, and then once I'm on
Mm.
stage and we've started playing and we've performed a song and the response has been pretty good, I feel a bit more at ease. I feel like, yeah, okay, we're in it now, doing it.
Yeah.
It's going well. It's fine. It's good, and I do enjoy it uh, for a moment when I'm on stage. I do get into it and try and have a bit more charisma on stage. It's getting better in that regard. But I think I'm always gonna before I play, I'm always gonna get myself worked up, unfortunately.
It would be
But
natural if you didn't.
I definitely want to. Yeah, exactly, and I definitely want to keep playing live. But that's just something I have to battle through, really. In terms of the band and what they do, like day to day, I wish we could rehearse more often than
Mm.
we do, because there's 5 of us, and getting 5 of us together is really challenging because we do
Yeah.
all have day jobs.
Yeah.
I mean, MBA is a doctor, like a proper doctor. I think our player Andy, he's a uni lecturer. In
Right.
fact, at the uni I went to, the uni of Liverpool, he was my academic advisor. Um, so whenever I'd have a
And
meeting
he's a
with him,
saxophonist, isn't he?
he is,
Does
and he plays
Andy
flute
plays
as
the
well.
sax? Yeah. He makes
Yeah,
he
but
makes a fantastic difference to this album.
he
Really
does. He really does. Yeah.
another
Well, he
dimension.
a lot of his sax and flute parts he composed himself, which was great. Because when I first asked him if he wanted to play on the album, um, I only had like a few sections where I wanted sax and flute. And so I said to him, this is sort of what I'm after. And then he basically and I'm really pleased he did this. He just went to town on it. He just put sax and flute everywhere. And I went round to his house and we listened back and I was in awe. I was like, oh my God, you transformed this album into something
Mm.
else. And I was going to ask him, do you want to be in the band? thinking, oh, he's probably too busy. He'll say no. But he got there. He got there first. He said, "Oh, can I be in the band?" And I was like, "Yeah, yeah, you can, of course. Yeah, that's great." So it really does, having him there really does bring things up another level. He's a uni lecturer, and then I've got a couple of jobs. Our drummer's got a 9 to 5, and then the bass player, he works in different schools, doing music tuition. So we are all busy people. We do have other jobs, and we are all in other bands as well. So having to balance jobs with a social life and with other like bands as well, other band rehearsals and gigs, it's a nightmare. It really is. Like we're struggling to sort of get together every week because we're all doing different things at different times, and it is a struggle. I wish we could rehearse more. I wish we could be rehearsing every day, because although it's sounding great, I know it would be more ingrained in our heads if we were rehearsing every single day, as if it was a job.
Yeah.
I'm hoping one day to be in that position.
Well, that's what I was wondering, Dominic, if you saw yourself as 100% band, no other career, you're going to put yourself
One
out
day,
there. You'll have a wonderful review in next month's Prog Mag, probably, for Blazing Revelations.
yes,
So
hope so.
would you consider giving it 100%?
Oh
Or
yeah, that's the aim. Yeah, I really want to um, go all out with this and see if I can really not make it. That sounds silly, but just be in a position where maybe I'm on a label, and we can start doing regular gigs and we can have regular rehearsals. I mean, I love the job I'm doing at the moment, so I don't think I'd ever be in a position where I could do this full time and give up jobs and stuff. But I definitely want it to be. I definitely want to grow it more,
yeah.
because it's already grown so much since I started writing music and releasing in 2020. And it's growing and growing more and more, which is great. So there's no reason why it can't grow even more. So much so that we're rehearsing more often and gigging more often. But again, it's just like anything, it just takes time. But it's working. So yeah, one day, hopefully, fingers crossed.
I think sonically the new album Blazing Revelations I think it's a step up from the last one. It sounds
Yeah,
really sharp, and the saxophone and the keys and the guitar sound wonderful,
yeah.
So I think you'll get a fantastic reaction to the new one when it's released next week. And of course,
Oh, thank you. Yeah.
we'll put this on and hopefully play some tracks or all of them or whatever
Yeah.
on next week's
Yeah.
show. Just mindful of time. I'm okay. Massimo, how did Massimo Pieretti? I believe you're going to appear on one of his, and he
Yeah.
appears on track 4, I think, of yours. Is it track
Yeah.
4, the 16-minute one?
Yeah. Yeah. He appears at the end doing some piano in like the final big section, the finale. And his piano playing is lovely. He's a great pianist. And yeah, I sing on one of his tracks on his upcoming. I think it's for an upcoming album.
Yes.
Yeah, and he sent me it the other day. It's in the process of being mixed, and it sounds great. It sounds really big. It's really bold, and it really it shakes the room when you listen to it, which is great. So, and he's such a nice guy. He's so lovely.
So
I mean, I've
how
only
did you two contact? How did you
he
contact it?
contacted me.
Did he?
Yeah, he got in touch with me and just said, my name is Massimo. I'm a solo artist myself, but I'd like you to sing on this song. And I was like, oh, cool. So I checked it out, and he just sent me the lyrics and the melody. And yeah, I obliged. I sang it, and I put some harmonies on as well, and put my own spin on a few little bits. And there was a part of me that was thinking, oh, if he doesn't like it, what if I've completely ruined what he had in mind? But no, it was the opposite. He loved it. He was chuffed. So uh, that was nice. So yeah, I'm still I still text him now and again. It'd be nice to meet him at some point, which I'm sure I will. But yeah, nice dude. Yeah.
I did ask him if he was going to come over and play live.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
And he said he didn't know because
I
he's got
didn't know.
no, he's got I think he's released a new single today, and I was
Nice.
saying he was saying how he played on your track four, and you can hear the piano very clear.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it was nice. It was something different when you guest on
Yeah.
someone's album.
Yeah.
We might see a collaboration with you two. Could do.
You never know. You never know.
Why not?
I wouldn't be opposed to it. Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
Going back to the band and the live dates, when you look at a festival, do you like? I mean, you're going to Fusion next month,
Yeah.
but like Winter's End or other UK festivals, do they contact you? Do you contact them, or do you say we'd be interested in playing, or do they come to you?
Um. Well, I think in all cases so far of the gigs we've done, in all cases I've been contacted by someone asking if we want to, because I never thought that I'd be playing live with the band because I didn't have a band first.
Yeah,
So I had my drummer and my bassist, and I've been friends with them for a while. Um, but the real struggle was getting a keyboard player because guitarists are ten a penny. You find them everywhere.
yeah,
But any other instrument is difficult to find. So finding a keyboard player that was local in Liverpool, um, who could rehearse and commit was a challenge. I didn't think I'd be able to find a keyboard player, but luckily I found MBA, and she's fantastic, amazing
yeah.
keyboard player. And I got to introduce her to the Mellotron,
I
if she's
know,
never played one before.
fantastic,
Yeah, yeah.
fantastic. It
I
is
think
very good.
think she likes it. Yeah, yeah, oh, yeah. She is.
We like Mellotron on Prog Rocks.
We love Mellotron. Yeah, um, yeah.
The only thing I'd say about that track is it's too short. The last little bit.
I know. It feels like you just want me to play forever, David.
They say your father, who Matthew, who does the lyrics, I think, for one track and does the lovely artwork.
Yeah.
We must mention him. We both
Oh
say
yeah.
we both say Light Shards is about 5 minutes too short. So
Yeah. Yeah.
hopefully
Yeah. Yeah.
a better live version.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Well, we have played Shards twice before. No, three times, I think. I can't remember. Twice or three times, and it's been there's been a good response to it live, but I think it's quite difficult to arrange.
Yeah.
So some of the songs are difficult to arrange for a
Mm.
live performance, especially when there are quite a lot of like overdubs that we did on certain tracks, and so we can't physically play everything,
No, of course.
and we don't have the money for certain things. Like I would love to have proper chorus pedals,
Yeah.
and to have like a proper an actual Hammond and an actual
Mm.
Mellotron,
Yeah.
and proper instruments.
It will come with
Um,
fame. It will come with fame.
yeah, it's on its
Um,
way, I think.
yeah.
Yeah,
Before we finish, just
yeah,
to let everybody know, the album comes out on the 28th of Feb. You'll
yeah,
find it on Bandcamp, won't you? In vinyl,
yeah,
CD, um, download,
yeah,
and also to mention your website,
yeah,
dominicsanderson.com, because
mhm,
there's a couple of lovely live performances on there,
yeah,
interviews,
yeah.
discography, everything you'd want to know. So
Everything there. Yeah.
I think we have to say it's a wonderful album, and everybody should
Thank
go
you.
out and buy it on February the 28th.
No, thank you, David.
And next poll will be album of the year, I'm sure.
Hopefully, that's what we're
But
aiming for.
don't tell any more of my friends this.
Yeah.
But just wrapping up. Thanks so much, Dominic, for
No,
speaking to us.
that's a pleasure.
We will of course play tracks from the album if that is allowed.
Oh yes, of
After
course.
the interview, I'll put it on the show on
Yep.
Friday, Friday the
Mhm.
28th, and wish you all well with the album. And I just hope to get to one of these live gigs this year. I'm sure I will.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
thank you very much.
A
and
pleasure. Thank you for having me.
good luck with the album.
Thank you.